Good afternoon. Type your USN in the group chat. Okay, we'll start. I don't know why the rest of the fellows are not joining. So we'll just start our session. Okay. So yeah. So in the last class where we left out the same particular PCM technique, we are just going to see it today. So in that one particular block, we have seen it that is called as sampling, but not in detail. How that particular samples will be picked, that's what we have just seen it. So how much samples we need to pick it, that's we are, that particular part is not taken into consideration, right? So with respect to that, before going or before moving into the quantization part, so what I just want to know, want you to give a picture, clear cut picture is with respect to how the sampling is occurring. Okay, so this is a wave that you are transmitting to. This is the analog signal. With respect to this, what I'll do is I'll create a signal in such a manner that this is how my signal will be available. So I'll be just combining these two signals. This is just to help this particular sampling to take care. Understanding it. Why it is called as impulses, it is not varying with respect to the time. Once it reaches to the peak, it will be there itself. The changes will not happen. It will not remain in the same particular area for a longer period. So that's why it is called as impulse. Whereas the same particular waveform, if I'm going to deal with respect to, this is with respect to your ideal or impulse sampling technique. The second one is with respect to your natural. With respect to the natural, what it will be doing is instead of just sending the spikes as the particular picking of the elements, what it will be doing is it will just identify the peak value. It will be lying over there in that particular peak for a certain amount of time. Then it will just suddenly go down. Similarly, you have several data elements that is available. The time duration between this should be one and the same. And the time taken for this particular pulse to be remaining constant should be one and the same. If that is the case, then your actual natural sampling will come into picture or else flat topped, anything. So like this n number of waveforms, you'll be just having it. So why it is called as pulse? Pulse will be remaining in that particular area for a certain amount of time. So that's why at the highest peak, it will be remaining at a certain amount of time. Whereas impulse in that, there is no particular thing like it will remain in that particular peak, particular value. So it will not remain in that particular peak value. It will go down suddenly or it will be raised suddenly. So anything, any one particular thing will happen. So that's where your particular terminology called as pulse and impulse will be working. So you'll be transmitting the same particular pulse signal with respect to your natural as well as flat top. With respect to your natural, what it will be doing is your particular waveform will be something like if you just combine this. So sorry, I just forgot to tell you that you need to combine these two signals. If you combine these two signals, then the equivalent signal will be the samples. It will not be it will not be a flattened one. So it will just try to increase its particular amplitude at a certain amount of time. It will be just sampled and it will be just returning you the values. So between this is your actual sample data. This is one cluster. That's what they say. So like this, it will be just happening. So this is the simple example or how your particular sampling will be done. Now the question is, how many such samples I need to have? Now my question is, how many such samples I need to have it? With respect to this, if I want to answer this, it will be as good as with respect to your Nyquist theorem. Who stated the Nyquist theorem? No, the same fellow. Bit rate, maximum bit rate with respect to your Nyquist. What he has addressed us, the same particular thing will be taken care while calculating the sampling rate. What he suggests is it will be always twice the maximum frequency that you have with respect to your given signal element. So whichever the maximum frequency that you have, twice that particular thing will be number of samples that you are taking it. So that is nothing but your sampling rate. According to Nyquist theorem, the sampling rate must be at least two times. At least means two times. More than that also it's possible, but at least two times if it is the means highest frequency, then it is easy for us to calculate it. Why two times? I'll just give you an example. Before that, just look into these particular two diagrams. The first one is with respect to your low pass. In the low pass, it's very easy. If the bandwidth has been given once, that highest band, whatever the value that has been given, it is nothing but the highest bandwidth. So F max will be there because F min will always start from 0. So where your particular actual value comes from highest to lowest, below that everything you are considering it. That's what your low pass signal is all about. Whereas band pass, there will be a fixture. That is range will be given. So Fmin will not always start from 0. It can start from anywhere else apart from your 0 frequency. So with respect to that, what I'll do is I'll just change this particular value. So Fmin, Fmax, both the things will be there. So if you have the maximum value, then you can just calculate the Nyquist rate. If you have the bandwidth, then it is highly impossible for me to calculate the signal rate with respect to your band pass signal. Whereas with respect to your low pass signal, we can easily generate it. There is no problem at all. But why it is with respect to the low pass signal, we can generate it. If you give the bandwidth also, the bandwidth, what it says is it should be calculated with respect to the maximum frequency minus minimum frequency will give you the bandwidth. So low pass always starts from minimum bandwidth is 0 and maximum value, whatever is that, the bandwidth value that it is be having it. So that's why in that particular case, it is easy for us to calculate it. Why it is 2? That's what the question is. Why can't it be 4? Why can't it be 8? Why can't it be 16? Why it is 2? The simple answer I will be giving you is, or a simple example or analogy I'll just give you. You all have watched uh, a car moving in the street, right? A car moving on the street. You just imagine a car is moving in front of you. Fine. Okay. So if the car is moving with a speed of 0 to 10 kilometers, and if you just observe how that particular wheel will be rotated, it is easy for us to calculate, okay, yes, with respect to the speed, whether it is moving forward or backward, right? If the same car moves at 60 kilometer per hour, 60 kilometer per hour, I'll increase the speed now. With respect to that particular speed, if you just try to watch the wheel rotations or revolutions, you will be getting to know that the car will be moving forward, but your revolutions will be in the backward direction. You can take an example of your two-wheeler, whichever the scooter or two-wheeler that you are riding it, or if you are if you can able to see it, you can see that particular thing. So whenever you are moving, a vehicle is moving from one particular end to other end, so during one in one direction with a maximum speed, then it will be having two particular things to be taken care. One, it will be moving forward. You are moving forward, but what we are visualizing is by seeing that particular wheel, it will be moving backward because of the speed. Will just try to, or it will be the perception will be something like you'll be going backward. So both the things will be covered. So based on that, two particular, one is anti-clockwise, another one is clockwise. Both the things will be coming into picture. So that's why it will be twice that particular thing. So other example that I can give you here is with respect to your clock. Okay, you all are familiar with respect to the uh, analog clock I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the digital clock. So digital clock, only digits will be there. Analog clock, this is what I just wanted to explain. So there are several points, 12, 3, 6, and 9. So similarly, for in everywhere, the same particular thing. Now, with respect to this type of sampling, that is, if the maximum rate is, if the maximum sampling rate is exactly two times the frequency. That means time taken will be 1 by 2. That's what it says. Yes, you agree, right? So with respect to this particular symbol, with respect to this particular thing, now you can say that 12 to 6, it will be moving, and 6 to 12, it will be moving, exactly half. Now, with respect to this scenario, either it can be moved with respect to 12 to 6 or in the clockwise direction or in the anti-clockwise direction. Whereas the next diagram, it will be having 4 points. That is 12, 3, 6, 9. Again, it need to come to the same particular thing. So it is called as oversampling. That means one particular point, you are making it to happen it once again. So you are sampling it one more time. So in this particular case, it will be always observed that it will be moving in one direction, which is highly impossible with respect to your Nyquist. Understanding it. So it is hard for us to identify this. What the other thing is, if I take the reverse order, that means in the reverse particular thing, then also it is hard for us to identify. Why? We'll not get the same particular waveform what we were expecting to. So if I just come back to this particular diagram, it will be easy for you to understand. Yeah. See here, with respect to the first particular diagram, with respect to your sinusoidal wave, because here we are just traveling or we are just converting your analog signal to a digital signal. For converting that, we are just taking it. How many samples we need to have it? So one at the peak at with respect to your 90 phase, another one is with respect to 270. If you have these two, then it will be easy for us to identify the sampling rate. Based on this, I will be getting how many samples I need to just have it, because all the samples is not necessary. Yesterday, I gave an example with respect to your PCM technique, sampling, quantization, and encoding. I've given an example with respect to face recognition or biometric measurement, right? So face recognition, all the particular features in the face is not important. Only few particular features are very important. Our clusters is very important. So that's what we are just concentrating with. So those particular things, how to extract it, it will be exactly twice the maximum frequency. How much time this particular sinusoidal wave repeats, it will be 2 points, and each one you need to observe it or you need to extract it. That's what it means. So if you just take extra samples like what we have done it with respect to the second particular thing. Okay, so second particular sinusoidal wave is having 4 different points. So 4 points, 4 different corners, if you want to have it, means then how it will be looking. It will be not exactly the same particular thing what we have taken into consideration. Understanding it? The other one, if you take the undersampling, that is one at the phase 90, another at with respect to your phase called as 360, then your sinusoidal wave completely it will be ruled out. So whatever, at least to your Nyquist sampling rate, that is exactly twice, and with respect to your twice that particular Nyquist rate, whatever is that, if you just take it, then this particular symbol, that is exactly 4 points, if you are just marking it, means at least to the extent you may get that particular member or values. But with respect to the undersampling, the entire thing will be ruled out. So just because of it, what they will be saying, or what Nyquist has given a theorem as, whatever the maximum frequency you have, if you want to get the same sampling rate from that particular maximum frequency, then it should be exactly twice that of the maximum frequency for that particular signal. That many points you need to have it in your particular pocket. That's what they say it. So with respect to that, I've taken this example also. Yeah. Telephone companies, a simple calculation. Telephone companies digitize voice by assuming a maximum frequency of 4 kilohertz or 4,000 hertz, whatever it may be. So why it is 4,000 hertz? Because human voice will be recognized in 0 to 4 kilohertz. That's what we have just seen it. So with respect to that, how many samples you require? Exactly twice that particular frequency. Why? Because human voice is that it will be always taking the minimum value as 0, and it will be taking the maximum value as whatever the frequency that has been given. So maximum minus minimum is nothing but the bandwidth. Here the bandwidth is given. So with respect to that particular maximum frequency, exactly twice that particular thing, that many samples you require to have it in your pocket. So the same thing, in the same particular similar fashion, a complex low pass signal has a bandwidth of 200 kilohertz. Low pass signal has that bandwidth is given. So 200 minus 0 will be the bandwidth. So 200 kilohertz will be nothing but your maximum frequency. So with respect to that, you can have always the minimum. This is called at least 2 samples per signal. You need to just get it. That's what they are saying it, Nyquist theorem. So based on that, minimum you need to have it 400 kilo samples per second. Okay, so this is what they are saying it with respect to, yeah, how many samples that I want to have it. Previous class we have just seen it, wow, how that particular signal will be taken care, how the samples will be picked, how many samples will be picked. That particular answer has been given by Nyquist based on your clockwise and anti-clockwise direction movement. He has decided that 2 particular samples minimum you need to have. Okay, a complex band pass signal has a bandwidth of 200 kilohertz. What is the minimum sampling rate for the signal? They have given this as band pass signal. With respect to the band pass signal, there should be 2 limits. One is minimum, another one is maximum. So bandwidth is given as 200 kilohertz. Your starting point may be starting from 200 and ending with 400, or your starting point may be starting with uh, somewhere around 300 and ending with 500. So your maximum frequency has not been provided properly here. So we cannot calculate the minimum signal rate according to this particular example. So if you give the bandwidth with respect to band pass, it is hard for us to identify because your minimum sampling rate is based on the minimum sampling rate is based on